Hashtag living with purpose, the ultimate motivation. There comes a moment in every person's life, a moment of profound clarity, when they suddenly realize they have been sleepwalking through their existence. They wake up one day and see, with terrible precision, that years have passed, perhaps decades, and they have been living someone else's life, pursuing someone else's dreams, following a path that was never truly their own. If you are reading these words right now, there is a reason. Something deep within you knows that you are meant for more. Something is calling you to stop drifting and start living. Something is demanding that you discover your purpose and pursue it with every fiber of your being. Listen to that voice. Because it is the most important voice you will ever hear. It is the voice of your authentic self, trying desperately to be heard above the noise of obligation, expectation, and fear that drowns out most people's lives. Let me tell you something that will either liberate you or terrify you, depending on whether you have the courage to face it. You are going to die. Not someday in the distant, abstract future. Actually die. Your heart will stop beating. Your lungs will stop breathing. Your consciousness will cease. Everything you are, everything you have been, everything you could become, gone. I am not sharing this to be morbid. I am sharing this because it is the most important fact of your existence, and most people spend their entire lives desperately trying to avoid thinking about it. They distract themselves with trivial pursuits, numb themselves with entertainment, and construct elaborate fantasies about having unlimited time to pursue their dreams someday. But someday is a lie. Someday is the place where dreams go to die. Someday is the graveyard of potential, the cemetery of possibility, the final resting place of every "I wish I had" and "if only I had" that haunts people in their final moments. The truth, the hard, uncompromising truth, is that you have a finite number of days on this earth. You have a limited number of breaths, a limited number of heartbeats, a limited number of moments to create something meaningful with this mysterious gift called life. So here is the question that should define every single decision you make: what are you going to do with the time you have been given? Most people never seriously ask themselves this question. They accept the default path. They do what is expected. They follow the script that society has written for them: go to school, get a job, work for 40 years, retire, and then finally, when they are old and tired and most of their vitality is gone, start living the life they always wanted. This is insanity. This is a tragedy. This is a fundamental betrayal of the gift of life itself. You were not put on this earth to simply exist. You were not given consciousness, creativity, passion, and potential just to spend your days in quiet desperation, doing work that does not matter, living for weekends, counting down to retirement, waiting for permission to finally start pursuing what you actually care about. You were given life to live. Not to survive. Not to merely get through each day. But to truly, fully, intensely live. To discover what sets your soul on fire and pursue it with relentless determination. To find your purpose and fulfill it. To leave this world different, better, than you found it. This is not optional. This is not a luxury for those fortunate enough to have the time or resources. This is the fundamental obligation of being alive. If you are not living with purpose, you are not truly living at all. You are simply occupying space, consuming resources, and waiting to die. Does that sound harsh? Good. It should. Because most people need to be shaken awake. They need to be confronted with the reality that they are wasting their lives. They need someone to look them in the eye and say, "You are dying. Every day that passes is gone forever. What are you doing with this precious, irreplaceable time?" Now, I can sense your resistance. "But I have responsibilities," you say. "I have bills to pay, a family to support, obligations to fulfill. I cannot just abandon everything to pursue some abstract idea of purpose." And you are right. You do have responsibilities. But here is what you are missing: living with purpose does not mean abandoning responsibility. It means infusing your responsibilities with meaning. It means discovering the deeper reason behind what you do. It means aligning your actions with your values. It means ensuring that when you look back on your life, you can say with certainty, I lived true to myself. I pursued what mattered. I made my existence count. Let me share with you what purpose actually means, because this word has been so misused and misunderstood that most people have no idea what it truly represents. Purpose is not some grand, cosmic destiny that has been predetermined for you. It is not a specific career or achievement that you must discover through some mystical revelation. Purpose is much simpler and much more profound than that. Purpose is the reason you do what you do. It is the why beneath the what. It is the intention that transforms ordinary actions into meaningful contribution. It is the commitment to something beyond yourself that gives your life direction and your efforts significance. You do not find purpose. You create it. You decide it. You commit to it. And here is the beautiful, liberating truth: your purpose can be anything you choose, as long as it is authentic to who you are and serves something beyond your own immediate gratification. Your purpose might be raising children who will make the world better. It might be creating art that touches people's souls. It might be building a business that provides value and employment. It might be teaching, healing, protecting, innovating, or any of 1,000 other ways of contributing to the world. The specific form does not matter nearly as much as the depth of commitment, the authenticity of the choice, and the significance of the contribution. What matters is that you have decided what you stand for. That you know why you get up in the morning. That you can articulate what you are building, creating, or contributing. That your life has direction, meaning, and intention. Without this, you are adrift. You are a leaf blown by whatever wind happens to be blowing. You are reactive rather than proactive, driven by circumstance rather than choice, living by default rather than by design. With purpose, everything changes. Suddenly, you have a compass. You have criteria for making decisions. You have a reason to push through difficulty. You have something worth sacrificing for, working toward, dedicating yourself to completely. This is the difference between those who create extraordinary lives and those who simply endure ordinary ones. Not talent. Not luck. Not circumstances. Purpose. Direction. Commitment to something that matters. Let me tell you about the most common regret of the dying. I am not making this up, this has been extensively documented by those who work with people in their final days. The most common regret is not about what they did. It is about what they did not do. I wish I had pursued my dreams. I wish I had taken more risks. I wish I had lived true to myself instead of living the life others expected of me. I wish I had spent more time on what really mattered. Do you hear the pattern? Regret is not about failure. Regret is about not trying. About playing it safe. About letting fear make your decisions. About getting to the end and realizing you never actually lived, you just existed. This is the tragedy I want to help you avoid. Because once you understand this, once you truly internalize that your time is limited and that you will die with either satisfaction or regret, the choice becomes obvious. You must find your purpose and live it. Not someday. Not when circumstances are perfect. Not when you feel ready. Now. Today. This moment. Because this moment is all you actually have. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Right now is the only time that actually exists, and right now is when you must decide, Will I live with purpose, or will I continue sleepwalking toward death? Now let me address the fear that is probably rising in you right now. Because whenever we talk about living with purpose, about making significant changes, about pursuing what truly matters, fear appears. What if I fail? What if I make the wrong choice? What if I sacrifice security for purpose and end up with nothing? These fears are real. But they are also lies that keep you trapped. First, understand this: you are already failing. If you are not living with purpose, you are failing at the most important task of existence. You are failing to honor the gift of life. You are failing to become who you were meant to be. You are failing to contribute what only you can contribute. So the question is not whether you will fail. The question is whether you will fail while pursuing something meaningful or fail by never trying at all. Second, there is no wrong choice when it comes to purpose. Any authentic commitment to something meaningful is right. Any decision to stop drifting and start living with intention is correct. You can always adjust, refine, or redirect your purpose as you grow and learn. What you cannot do is get back the years you waste waiting for perfect certainty. Third, the security you are afraid of losing is an illusion. You think you are secure in your comfortable mediocrity, but you are not. You are insecure in the deepest way possible. You are unsure of who you are, what you stand for, and whether your life has meaning. That is the most terrifying insecurity of all. True security comes from knowing yourself, living authentically, and pursuing what matters to you. True security comes from developing capabilities, building relationships, and creating value. True security comes from being someone who can handle whatever life presents because you have tested yourself, pushed your limits, and discovered your strength. The security of a safe, purposeless life is the security of a prison cell. Yes, you are protected from certain dangers. But you are also cut off from everything that makes life worth living. Let me share with you what happens when you commit to living with purpose. Not what might happen. Not what could happen. What will happen if you truly commit? First, you will face resistance. Everything in you that is comfortable with the status quo will rebel. Your fear will scream. Your doubt will multiply. Your old patterns will fight to maintain control. This is not a sign that you are making a mistake. This is a sign that you are making real change. Push through it. The resistance is strongest at the beginning. Once you start building momentum, once you start seeing evidence that you are capable of living differently, the resistance diminishes. Second, you will lose some people from your life. Not everyone will understand or support your decision to live with purpose. Some will feel threatened by your transformation. Others will try to pull you back to who you used to be. This is painful, but it is necessary. Your circle will shrink before it expands. You will release relationships based on shared dysfunction or mutual mediocrity. You will create space for connections based on shared values and mutual growth. The quality of your relationships will increase even as the quantity might initially decrease. Third, you will face practical challenges. Pursuing purpose is rarely convenient. It might require less money, at least initially. It might demand more time and energy. It might involve uncertainty and instability. But here is what most people do not realize until they experience it: these challenges are infinitely more fulfilling than the comfortable numbness of purposeless existence. Struggling for something meaningful feels better than succeeding at something meaningless. Uncertainty in pursuit of your purpose is less stressful than certainty in pursuit of someone else's expectations. Fourth, you will discover capacities within yourself that you never knew existed. When you are driven by genuine purpose, you can work harder, think more creatively, persist longer, and achieve more than you ever imagined possible. Purpose unlocks potential that remains dormant when you are simply going through the motions. This is why people who find their purpose often accomplish in a few years what others cannot accomplish in a lifetime. Not because they are more talented or lucky, but because they are fully engaged, completely committed, and willing to do whatever it takes. Fifth, and most importantly, you will feel alive. Perhaps for the first time in your adult life, you will wake up with energy and excitement. You will feel like you are participating in your life rather than watching it pass by. You will experience the profound satisfaction of knowing that you are spending your days on something that matters. This feeling, this sense of aliveness, of engagement, of meaning, is worth more than any amount of money or security or comfort. It is the difference between existing and truly living. Now let me address a critical question: how do you discover your purpose? Stop waiting for it to appear in a flash of inspiration. Stop expecting it to be obvious. Stop looking for some external sign or permission. Instead, start with these questions: what breaks your heart? What do you see in the world that you wish were different? What injustice, suffering, or problem makes you angry or sad? Your purpose often lies in addressing what you cannot ignore. What energizes you? What activities make time disappear? What could you do for hours without getting bored? Your purpose is often connected to what you naturally love doing. What comes easily to you that others struggle with? What do people ask your help with? What skills or insights do you have that could serve others? Your purpose often emerges from your natural strengths. If you had unlimited resources and could not fail, what would you dedicate your life to? Strip away the fear and practical concerns for a moment. What would you do if you knew you could not fail? This reveals what you truly value. What do you want to be remembered for? When you die, what do you want people to say about how you lived and what you contributed? Your purpose is often reflected in the legacy you want to leave. The answers to these questions will point you toward your purpose. Not with perfect clarity, purpose often reveals itself gradually as you pursue it, but with enough direction to start taking action. And action is the key. You do not discover purpose through contemplation alone. You discover it through experimentation, through trying different things, through paying attention to what resonates and what does not. Start somewhere. Start anywhere. Just start. Commit to something meaningful and begin. You can always adjust your direction as you learn more about yourself and the world. The tragedy is not starting in the wrong direction. The tragedy is never starting at all. Let me share with you what living with purpose actually looks like in practical terms, because I do not want you to think this is purely abstract or philosophical. Living with purpose means making decisions through the lens of your commitment. When you face a choice, you ask, does this align with my purpose? Does this move me toward what I am committed to? Does this reflect my values? This clarity makes decisions dramatically easier. Instead of agonizing over every choice, instead of being paralyzed by options, you have a clear criterion. Things either serve your purpose or they do not. Living with purpose means saying no to good opportunities that are not aligned with your direction. This is one of the hardest aspects for most people. They are afraid to turn down anything that seems beneficial. But every yes to something that is not purposeful is a no to something that is. Your time and energy are finite. Protect them fiercely. Living with purpose means embracing discipline in service of your commitment. When you know what you are working toward, discipline stops being restriction and becomes liberation. You gladly do the work, make the sacrifices, and maintain the practices that support your purpose because you understand their importance. Living with purpose means accepting that not everyone will understand or approve. You will face criticism, doubt, and resistance from those who are invested in you remaining who you used to be. Your commitment to your purpose must be stronger than your need for approval. Living with purpose means constantly learning and growing. Purpose is not static. As you evolve, your understanding of your purpose may deepen or shift. Stay open. Stay curious. Stay willing to adapt while maintaining your core commitment. Living with purpose means measuring success by different metrics. Not just money, status, or conventional achievement, but impact, contribution, growth, and alignment. Did you stay true to your values? Did you move toward your purpose? Did you contribute something meaningful? These become the measures that matter. Now let me address something crucial: the relationship between purpose and suffering. Living with purpose does not eliminate difficulty. In fact, it often creates new forms of challenge. But here is what changes: suffering that is connected to purpose is bearable, even meaningful, in a way that purposeless suffering never is. Think about parents raising children. The work is exhausting. The sacrifice is real. The challenges are constant. But parents endure this because they are committed to something beyond themselves. The suffering has meaning, so it does not destroy them, it transforms them. The same is true for anyone pursuing purpose. An entrepreneur building a business faces stress, uncertainty, and setbacks. An artist developing their craft faces rejection, criticism, and doubt. An activist working for change faces opposition, frustration, and slow progress. But they persist because the suffering is in service of something meaningful. It is not random or pointless. It is the price of pursuing purpose, and they gladly pay it. Meanwhile, someone working a job they hate, living a life that does not reflect their values, pursuing goals they do not actually care about, they suffer too. But their suffering is meaningless. It serves nothing beyond mere survival. And meaningless suffering is soul-destroying in a way that purposeful suffering never is. This is why you must find your purpose. Not to eliminate suffering, but to ensure that your inevitable suffering is meaningful rather than meaningless. Let me share another profound truth: your purpose does not have to be world-changing in the conventional sense. It does not have to be starting a revolutionary company or curing cancer or achieving fame. Purpose can be as simple as being the best parent you can be. It can be serving your community. It can be mastering your craft, whatever that craft might be. It can be bringing kindness to every interaction. It can be creating beauty in whatever form speaks to you. What makes something purposeful is not its scale but its authenticity and its service to something beyond yourself. A life dedicated to being an excellent teacher who genuinely impacts students is just as purposeful as a life dedicated to running a major corporation. A life committed to creating a loving home is just as meaningful as a life committed to public service. The world needs people pursuing purpose at every level, in every domain, in every context. What the world does not need is more people sleepwalking through existence, living by default, contributing nothing distinctive or meaningful. Now let me address perhaps the most common objection: I am too old to start living with purpose. This is absolutely false. You are never too old to start living authentically. You are never too old to pursue what matters to you. You are never too old to make your remaining years count. Yes, if you are older, you may have fewer years ahead of you. But that makes living with purpose more urgent, not less. That makes wasting your remaining time even more tragic. And here is something beautiful: people who start living with purpose later in life often accomplish extraordinary things precisely because they understand the value of time in a way that younger people do not. They have clarity. They have wisdom. They have perspective. They do not have time to waste on what does not matter. So if you are thinking, I should have started this decades ago, you are right. But the second best time to start is now. Not tomorrow. Not next year. Now. Let me also address those who feel they have already wasted too much time. Those who look back with regret at years or decades spent pursuing the wrong things, living inauthentically, or simply drifting. That regret, as painful as it is, can become fuel. It can become the motivation you need to ensure you do not waste another day. It can become the reminder that drives you to live differently from this moment forward. You cannot change the past. But you can choose to stop adding to your future regret by starting to live with purpose today. You can decide that your past mistakes will not define your future. You can commit to making your remaining years, however many that might be, meaningful. The past is gone. What remains is now and what you do with it. Let me share with you the most powerful motivation I know. Imagine yourself at the end of your life, looking back. What would you want to see? What would you want to feel? What would you want to know about how you spent your days? Would you want to see a life of purpose, contribution, and meaning? Would you want to feel satisfaction that you pursued what mattered? Would you want to know that you lived authentically, gave your best, and made a difference? Or would you be content seeing a life of comfort, convenience, and safety? Would you be satisfied knowing you never took risks, never pursued your dreams, never truly tested yourself? The answer is obvious. Nobody wants to reach the end and realize they played it safe. Nobody wants their final thought to be, "I wish I had lived more boldly." Use this awareness. Let it drive you. Let the inevitable reality of death motivate you to truly live. Let the limited nature of your time inspire you to make every moment count. This is not morbid, this is liberating. When you fully accept that your time is finite, you stop wasting it. When you understand that death is certain, you start living with urgency and intention. Now let me share the ultimate secret. Living with purpose creates a positive spiral that transforms everything. When you live with purpose, you have more energy. Purpose is energizing in a way that comfort never is. You wake up excited. You tackle challenges with enthusiasm. You persist through difficulty because you are connected to something meaningful. This energy makes you more effective. You accomplish more. You create more. You contribute more. This creates results, which reinforce your sense of purpose, which generates more energy. The cycle continues, building momentum with each iteration. Meanwhile, purposeless living creates a negative spiral. Lack of meaning drains energy. Low energy leads to minimal effort. Minimal effort produces minimal results. Minimal results reinforce the feeling of meaninglessness. The cycle continues downward, creating increasing depression and desperation. The choice between these two spirals is perhaps the most important choice you will ever make. And you make this choice every day, with every decision, through every action or inaction. Living with purpose also attracts opportunities, relationships, and resources in a way that purposeless living never can. When you are clearly committed to something meaningful, people want to help you. They want to be part of it. They want to contribute to your mission. But when you are drifting, when you have no clear direction, when you are not committed to anything in particular, nobody knows how to help you. Nobody is inspired to join you. Nobody sees anything worth contributing to. Purpose creates magnetism. It draws toward you what you need to fulfill it. Not magically or mystically, but practically, because clear purpose makes you visible, memorable, and worth supporting. Let me conclude with this: you have been given an extraordinary gift. You have consciousness. You have the ability to think, to choose, to create, to love, to contribute. You have this mysterious, miraculous thing called life. What will you do with it? Will you waste it? Will you spend your days in comfortable mediocrity, in quiet desperation, in safe insignificance? Or will you honor it? Will you discover your purpose and pursue it relentlessly? Will you live boldly, authentically, meaningfully? The choice is yours. It has always been yours. And it is the most important choice you will ever make. I am not asking you to be perfect. I am not demanding you never doubt or struggle or fail. I am simply asking you to commit. To choose. To decide that your life will mean something, that your time will count, that your existence will matter. Start today. Start now. Start this moment. Ask yourself, what is my purpose? What am I here to contribute? What will I dedicate my life to? And then act on the answer. Not perfectly. Not without fear. But courageously, authentically, persistently. Because this is your one life. Your one chance. Your one opportunity to make your existence significant. Do not waste it. Live with purpose. Live with passion. Live with everything you have. The world is waiting for what only you can contribute. Your purpose is waiting to be discovered and fulfilled. Your authentic life is waiting to be lived. All that is required is your decision to begin. Make that decision now. Live.